This is the most comfortable mouse I have ever held in my very long life. The Logitech G703 is the wireless version of the G403, which is the mouse that I've probably used the most. I've won tournaments with it, I've hit sick air shots with it, I've won 1v5s and more with this mouse in my hand. In this video I'll be reviewing the wireless version of my all-time favourite mouse and using some incredible mental gymnastics to try and convince everyone else that this is the best mouse ever made, and that anyone who disagrees with me probably like pineapple on pizza and also eat it with a knife and fork. My first case that I wish to bring to your attention is the shape. I sometimes feel that someone from Logitech snuck into my room at night and measured my hand and took a mold of it, as this shape is just perfect for me. My whole hand is just so snug up against this. There's no part of this mouse where I wish something was different. The length of 124mm is on the shorter side, but because of the rather large height of 43mm, those with longer hands could actually find this comfortable, as the hump really does help absorb some of your hand length. It also does a great job of keeping your hand in a natural position. Even though it's not as good as a vertical mouse in terms of position of your whole arm, it still keeps it in a handshake position, so there's minimal strain. And if you're someone that really doesn't like it when your hand touches the mouse pad, well, great news, as again the height makes it so there's almost no contact. In fact, with my arm it's literally just the center of the wrist that actually touches the mouse pad. The coating is actually pretty great with it feeling comfortable during hotter climates. Struggling for grip? Well, there's rubber on the side so your hands remain connected to this mouse at all times. Now you may be thinking, surely this rubber can get a bit dirty and grimy. I will quite simply ignore that criticism. The switches across the whole mouse also feel great and consistent. There's no major dip in quality for any of them at all. The side buttons are large and well placed, so they are very easy to reach, but are also easy to tell apart from one another, so there shouldn't be any accidental misclicks. Whilst that you want more buttons, how about just one more under the scroll wheel that can change DPI profiles? The scroll wheel is also alright, perfect. It's very easy to scroll through, so it feels loose, but the notches are very noticeable while scrolling, so it makes up for it. The mouse 3 clicks are great as well, so overall this scroll wheel is great. Now some may highlight a few so-called downsides, which I can successfully dodge with a high degree of finesse and turn them into positives that you never thought were possible. To start off, some would say that the weight of 95 grams is too heavy. Compared to a lot of other high-tier gaming mice which are around the 57 to 80 gram mark, this one I guess could be referred to as a heavy mouse. However, I feel that the weight actually helps to create greater wrist strength, which has a lot of practical applications. Is there someone nearby that can't open a jar? Well, you can step right in and pop it open instantly. Impress all your friends with your superior strength. Not only that, but if you find that this mouse is too easy to move around your mouse pad and you want to get some more gains, bam! Throw in an extra 10 gram weight, that's included, and now you have a 105 gram gaming mouse, which can also now double up as a weapon. The feet being plastic could also be a downside. However, I feel that poor quality stock feet will help you appreciate the recently purchased aftermarket PTFE feet that you just bought. If you buy a mouse with great PTFE feet, you won't get to experience what poor quality stock mouse feet are like. There's also a lack of dongle port, which does feature in the Logitech G Pro Wireless and Superlight. On this one, there is a cover that holds the extra weight that I mentioned earlier. Now you might think, is that all? But there can be extra practical uses for this, as you can maybe fit in a bit of chewing gum. So this also doubles up as a one-time use chewing gum dispenser. Think about it, what would you prefer? A place to put the USB dongle for easier convenience in the event that you might travel somewhere with your gaming mouse? An extra 10 grams of weight? Or a bit of gum? I know which one would impress others and potentially make me a new friend. Back to the positives now. Because it's Logitech, you're getting their Hero sensor, which was named after the song of the same name by Nickelback in 2002. This is still one of the best sensors going and will give you around about 35 hours of battery life with the lights on, and up to 60 with the RGB turned off. Which isn't the best, however, you know, again, considering that the RGB is on mainly the logo and your hand's going to be covering it, who cares? There is also some software which I'll go through briefly. It's the G-Hub. It works well and is pretty basic, and I mean basic. You can change the DPI stages and report rate, and that's all you can do in terms of tweaking sensor stuff. You can change the light settings and apply some macros also if you choose to. Honestly, it does what I want, so I'm happy. There's onboard memory as well, so you can get rid of it after you've made your changes. In total, this mouse is just undisputable in terms of how perfect it is. You may think I'm delusional, but it's just because I'm simply shaking the foundations of what your mind thinks is the best gaming mouse. Yes, it could be lighter. Just think though, instead of Logitech making it lighter, why don't you modify it yourself? Again, this mouse literally gives you a can-do attitude to make it even better than it already is. It even makes me want to modify this myself. However, I only own one of these at the moment and I probably need a few goes before I get it right. But in all seriousness now, if you're looking for an ergonomic gaming mouse, I will gladly recommend this to anyone, even if they aren't looking for an ergonomic one. It's also quite often on sale on Amazon, so add a little cherry on top and you can get a pretty decent mouse for a reduced price. Obviously the weight is a downside, so maybe I wouldn't recommend this for a high tier FPS mouse, just because in a competitive environment the weight could cause a bit of fatigue depending on the person. But I'm hoping to modify this one over time. If I could do it, so could you. I might even provide a video update on my journey providing it goes somewhat well. So I admit that I am maybe slightly biased in my assessment of this mouse, but I do honestly think this is one of the best ergonomic shapes that I have used. So personally I think that it might be worth a try. And it also might be worth it for Logitech to re-release this one at a suitable weight. I'd take 80 grams at this point honestly. For anyone that's looking for something that's ergonomic and maybe a bit lighter, I'll have a video on screen now that should be perfect for you.